Lopez Wonderbread.
Henchman. Oh, should we talk about Paulie?
Oh, Hans, yeah, you're bullying celebrities now. I don't know if you guys know who Paulie F. Tompkins is, but Paul F. Tompkins, maybe I'll pull up a picture of him. Paul F. Tompkins is this comedian who is essentially a skinnier yet softer Patton Oswalt. Like, he wishes he had Patton's career so bad. And the most...
He wears a suit and a mustache, always.
That's that's how he separates himself.
Yeah.
Paul F. Tompkins is probably best known for appearances on Best Week Ever, but he's also in a Paul Thomas Anderson, There Will Be Blood. He's in There Will Be Blood. So,
but
Hans,
he doesn't look like him because he doesn't have a mustache or his hair gelled, so you can't tell it's even him.
So what the fuck prompted this where you're all of a sudden taking on celebrities on Twitter?
Well, the problem was that he said in a very dismissive, very elitist tone that someone or the what do you call the air stewardess? What do you call that? The air, the person on the plane that
the flight attendant.
Flight attendant, sure. The flight attendant in his Southwest airline plane made a 9/11 joke, and then he said, "If you think you're an edgy comedian, you need to do better." And then he replied, and he got like thousands of retweets and thousands of likes more than the reply to that, where he said, "Oh, never mind. My wife that's sitting next to me said that he just mentioned 9/11, not made a joke. So my bad." And that one got like a third of the likes and the retweets.
Yeah.
So I just literally replied, it's kind of irresponsible for you to leave the tweet that has the most traffic up, because more people have seen that one than your retraction where you're saying that it wasn't actually a joke. And that's it. Like, it just felt like he was putting himself above 9/11 jokes, which I don't think anyone should be above any kind of jokes, because if you're funny enough, you can make fun of anything and
Sure.
make it funny. So that's what bothered me, because I hate... you can't be a comedian and act like you're above anything, because you should be making fun of it. So I just said that. And then he replied with like, "Listen, pal." He said, "Listen, pal, it's hardly responsible. I'm not in New York Times." So I replied with, "Yeah, well, you have over 1 million followers, and they all saw that, and more people have seen that one than the other one." So we went in a back and forth where he was pretty much being really condescending towards me, acting like he meant it as a joke, like it wasn't him putting himself above 9/11 jokes. It was a joke. And then I called him out on it, and I called him Paulie. And I knew I had bothered him because, he called me pal. So I was like, all right, so I'm a pal, you're Paulie. Your name's Paul. I'm going to call you Paulie. So I pretty much said, yeah, your tone seemed condescending, and sorry, Paulie. Whatever. I don't even remember what I said. And he replied with, "I'm being polite with you."
No. He said, "Please, I'm trying to be respectful. Don't call me Paulie." Here's the thing. Who gives a fuck what you think, Hans? That's what I say. If I'm Paul F. Tompkins, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is trying to spar with me on Twitter?
But you know what the thing is, that I saw that other people replied to it in the wrong way, like me, and he started retweeting old tweets from them, being like, "Oh, you said this. Well, of course you said that." And I was kind of afraid of him finding anything, but then I was just like, "Well,
there's so much to find on you, Hans."
But he didn't, and he would have, if I was him and just click on my profile and see that I have less than 400 followers, I would have been like, yeah, well, fuck this guy, Yeah. But it actually ate at him. Why? Because he's afraid of the outrage. He's afraid of being called out on something that he did and then getting, negative attention for it. So he started replying. I turned off notifications from people that don't follow me, because I don't want to get his millions of fans after me saying that I'm whatever. I just hated the fact that a stand-up comedian, put himself above jokes, and then after that he was like, "Oh no, I was explaining the fact that no, you didn't. You're full of shit." And apparently I ruined Paul F. Tompkins' night, and that's good, because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Well, there's two things here, Hans. There's two things. In that, it feels like there's a certain breed of celebrity out there that makes the rounds on these kinds of shows, like Best Week Ever. You know, the commentators who are funny people, and they do have very thin skin. They live for Twitter. Like a Michael Ian Black is another one of these guys, where he will go to war with people who mean fuck all in the grand scheme of things. I had an instance like this quite some time ago with Chris Hardwick. Chris Hardwick and I, he's my arch nemesis now. Where I put up I put up a picture of him on Twitter where he looks extremely tired at midnight, right? He's got these bags under his eyes. He looks like he's been living on the streets for 4 or 5 months.
The luckiest man on media, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, the Nerdist.
And has this empire of Nerdist who's also making millions for him.
Of just utterly bland podcasts. Yeah, that's him.
I think it's worse for you. That's a more impressive foe than Paulie.
He's powerful. He's
Bajillion Property or whatever that show is called.
No, the Yahoo hit. Bajillion Property Extreme. That's the show. Yeah. Anyway, so I put up this picture of him. I didn't tag him or anything. And what does he do? He finds it. And he scolds me on Twitter. He's like, so you're basically saying I look like shit. You know, you're just being an asshole right now. And I'm like,
yeah, yeah, you do. What? Have you ever looked at the pictures of him from the 90s where he was like a fat? He had like a very round face, and he always looked greasy before he got money, I guess. You can find a lot of really bad early Chris Hardwick pictures that would probably bother him a lot more.
He took such umbrage with this. I couldn't believe how upset he was. He sent me like 3 tweets in a row to get my attention, and then I finally responded. And I was like, do I really want to bully Chris Hardwick here? Like, here's the deal. It's always fun to be an asshole to somebody who's famous. And then the minute they engage back, it's like, you made it not fun for me. So
yeah, now I feel bad. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. You ruined my time.
I didn't know you were such a little fucking fragile little boy that now I have to be like, I'm sorry. And yeah, I deleted a bunch of my tweets because first of all, I was kind of drunk when that happened. I don't even follow him. I think someone liked that tweet and he popped on my thing, and I was like, oh, well, fuck this guy, putting himself above 9/11 jokes like he's some kind of, comedy god or whatever.
The king of comedy, that's what they call him. That's his nickname around Hollywood.
But then at the end, I think it was late at night, and I was just like, I just want to go to bed. I don't want his 3 retweet answers to my 1 tweet to keep me all night. So at one point I was like, we're fine. Like we're good. And then I read back and I was like, fuck this guy. And I just started deleting when I was being cordial and but yeah, it's funny when they're so fragile that, there's someone triggering them from miles away that has literally no audience.